Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Crusade Now Live. I'm Larry Lassiter. I'm your host for this program today, and I'm here with my beautiful daughter, Jennifer. Jennifer, good to have you with us today.
Thanks, Dad. Good to be here.
You know, we're going to be talking about a subject you don't hear about very often, and that's the subject of courting. We're going to analyze the difference between courting and dating. And I say the term courting because I don't know of a different term to use other than that seems old-fashioned. But it's really a time where you gather information about another person, a prospective mate, someone to marry. So we're going to be talking about that. We hope you enjoy it today. Well, Jennifer, you're 28 years old and you don't date.
Right.
And why is that?
I don't believe that dating has ever been God's pattern. You know, the way that the world does dating, it's just not in line with godly principles. It's about having fun and being recreational most of the time, and you know, there's not a lot of truth in it, and you know, I don't think it honors God in the way that it's done.
Well, you know, what caused you to have that position? I mean, how long have you had it? Was there any literature, any books that contributed to that thinking?
Well, I think it was first you that came to, you know, Sarah and I, and wanted to talk to us about it, about your concerns about dating and the way that it's done. And I remember you having us write a list of qualities that we would look for and things that were kind of non-negotiable in a mate. And we did that, and it wasn't far after that we found a book by Joshua Harris called I Kissed Dating Goodbye. And that book just reinforced, you know, your sentiments, you know, as our father about your concerns. And now that book has had quite an impact. I'll pass my copy along to a friend in Africa, but we've had it since then, and it really outlined the differences in God's way to choose a mate and the world's way. And we as Christians and as believers, we shouldn't follow the patterns of the world in anything we do.
Amen.
And that includes choosing a mate. It should be done, you know, God's way as best as we understand.
I agree with that too. How would you define courting versus dating? How would it differ?
Well, the way I feel, and I kind of realized this in a truer sense quite recently, but dating is kind of like couples anymore. They act like they're married. They act like, you know, they travel together. They sometimes live together. If not, you know, they spend all their free time together. They make decisions together. They act as married couples already, and that's not appropriate in itself. But you know, courtship is, I'm prepared for marriage. I have made a place. You know, I'm in a place in my life where I can do that. And you know, you've made prayers to God about that if that's your heart's desire. And then that time you spend with them is, like you said, for gathering information and finding out in the truest sense if you're compatible, because you're not doing each other any favors if you're not. You get into that, you know, you get into marriage and then you're not who the other one thought you were. And that's why our divorce rate is so high. People are entering in without the information that they need.
Actually, you know, I was reading recent statistics regarding the divorce rate, and the divorce rate now is over 50% for first marriages, and it's no different in the Christian church,
Right.
which you would think it would be, but you know, the reasons for divorce are this, you know, carry right on over into the Christian church as well. And it was 67%. Now that's 2 out of 3 failures for second
Right.
marriages, and then 73% failure on third marriages. So it's really illustrating a point that the bad habits, the mistakes, the pattern that people use in developing a relationship and entering into a covenant such as marriage, that there's flaws in it.
Yes.
And I think we can go back to the very mindset of dating to see where those flaws are. Nobody wants to fail. Nobody, when they get married, are thinking that their marriage is not going to last. They have great hopes for their marriage, but you know, people are disappointed. That's the one common denominator in across the board in people who divorce, is there's failed expectations. People expected more out of their marriage.
Mm-hmm.
They thought it would be different, and it is different than the dating. And the dating creates a false
Persona.
persona of what the relationship is going to be like. And everybody puts on their best face, and everybody's trying to impress each other, and they're learning, men are learning what girls want to hear, and they're
Mm-hmm.
just repeating what they know girls want to hear. It's not really coming from their own heart.
Right.
It's just repeating, and the same, and the girls are trying to, flatter themselves. A lot of times, then after people are married, maybe she doesn't keep up her. Maybe she doesn't put makeup on in the morning, wash her
Mm-hmm.
hair every day, or maybe instead of clothes that draw attention to her
Right.
figure, she starts wearing baggy sweats and things like that because the dating game is over.
Right. Well, another big difference is, I mean, dating is, like you said, it's a lot of, well, it's entertaining each other, it's having fun, it's trying to impress, and you say all the right things, and you want to look the right way, and you want to act the right way. And, the difference in that in courtship is, well, and another thing is people date multiple people at the same time.
That's right.
I've known people that date 4 or 5 girls or 4 or 5 guys at one time because you're just keeping it loose and you're just having fun and you're finding out what you like and what you don't like. And that's just not godly. And courtship is serious. It's not a light thing. It's not something to be entered into lightly. I mean, the way I view courtship, the way we've discussed it, is you're sitting down and you're saying, I'm prepared for marriage. I need to know the real you. I need to know if we entered into this lifelong covenant, are we on the same page? Do you want to, how do you handle finances? How do I?
You have to ask hard questions.
That's right.
And you just do, in order to get worthwhile answers.
Well, child rearing. Do you want to have kids? Do you want a large family? If so, if we have twins or so, can you provide? Can we handle that? Or
What about extended family?
Mm-hmm.
You see.
Do you want to live?
Do you have a parent? Do you have a father? Do you have a mother that is on the road to disability?
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do?
Right.
How is it going to affect our relationship, our family, if we have to move? With myself, when my dad was about 78 years old, and he was living in Oklahoma, and I'm living here in Arkansas, he called me one day and he said, I can't take care of myself anymore. I can't even walk.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no one to take care of me. The family here is not taking care of me. Can I come and live with you? Well, I still had 4 children at home, including you.
Right.
So we had, of course, I said, yes, of course, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I, went, got him, and he lived with us the last 4 years of his life. But that is a reality that can happen. And so that questions like that have to be asked. If that were the case, maybe, me, I wouldn't think about putting my dad in a nursing home. Not that there's anything wrong with a nursing home,
Right.
but I knew that he did not want to go to a nursing home.